Hey everyone, welcome to I already forgot what I was gonna say. This is my snow walk era vlog. Welcome to my snow walk era vlog. I forgot to actually film this video while I still had the locks in, so you'll just have to use your imagination. The purpose of this video are for those who are looking to do the hair themselves, but they don't know where to start. It was really difficult watching all of these perfect installs where everybody knew what they were doing and not really making any mistakes or telling me how they learned how to do locks in the first place. My inspiration for this entire era was the fact that I really wanted faux locks, but I didn't really have the money, like faux lock money. And I also am like a DIY type of person. Like I just love to do anything that I can myself. For some reason, I just wanted to be a full-blown fairy so bad. And I just felt like all my dreams were realized, walking around with these huge ass wings and just completely decked out, and my hair is just looking fly. So that's my little takeaway. The style lasted for about 1 month, from the end of October to the end of November. So 4 solid weeks. The braid down took about 5 hours and the install took between like 10 to 12, and most of the time was spent on the individual locks in the front of my head. So first I'll start with some lessons and some takeaways that I learned throughout this process. Feel free to skip ahead if you just want to see. I'll have chapters set up so you can just skip to whatever part you want to view first. Don't use nail polish if you're doing white locks, because I had a red nail polish on and there definitely was some transfer from my nails to the locks. So next I would do all singles, like all individuals like I did with the front of my head, or I would sew the braid down way tighter in the back. You'll see later on in this video that I had some issues with the lump of cornrows at the back of my head, and that frustrated me throughout the entire time that I had these locks in. Make sure to massage your hands and take breaks. And I encourage my viewers to try new things, to play around with your self-expression, and to experiment with your personal style. So feel free to feel encouraged by this video. Hey there, I forgot to add a couple of things in when I had everything all set up with my light and everything. But the last few things that I wanted to add is that I wanted to give a shout out to Sovia for doing the braid down. And I also wanted to say that before the braid down, I did my full deep conditioning like regime, which is where I do a cleanse with the ACV. I do a deep condition with the aloe. I did Batana, which I didn't really like and won't do again. And then just like the whole thing. So just make sure that you start with a really solid braid down and a deep conditioning before the braid down. So yeah, that's my last few tips. Throw this video on to learn vicariously through me, or while you do your hair, and we can do our hair together.
Look at this. I got that.
Yes, it is.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the parts. Yay, 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 yay.
At this point, I was already excited. To prep the hair, I did an ACV rinse, dipped it in boiling water, and then I rinsed it with conditioner. Definitely was not mad at this ocean wave synthetic hair. Now for products, I use shea butter, grease, and braid gel. Let's get into it. Did a normal crochet method in the back, nothing special here. Added some layers and voila, the back was done. But this is where I realized I messed up. All the heartbreak, all the drama. I didn't sew the braid down enough. Alas, there was no turning back. The Marley and lock shades were off. Did I care? Of course not. Okay, I was feeling it, and here's it down. Shaky, shaky. Now here's the actual process. I attached the lock in Marley hair by putting the lock on the hook, and then putting the hook on the middle of the Marley hair, closing the hook, holding one side of the Marley hair and pulling the other side through. And then that's how it looked. And then I put shea on the loops and on the tips of my natural hair. Open the hook and put it under your hair. Grab the marley, close the hook, and pull it through. Then I'd put the marley hair on one side and then the lock on the other. I'd hold my natural hair and the lock in one hand, marley in the other. Spread the marley hair flat around on the other side and then keep wrapping, wrap, 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 wrap. Detangle as you descend. Put gel on the ends and start your next strip of hair a little higher than where the first strip ends, if that makes sense. Proceed to wrap until your hands fall off. Detangle, detangle. Snip, snip. I was low-key running out of marley hair, so I was trying to use as little as possible. Then nail glue on the ends and palm roll in the direction of the wrapping. Now, if you want to add some boho, repeat the same method of attaching the marley to the lock as the first time, but add a small piece of boho. Leave the strand out and clip it back. You should have half the boho hair, your lock, and your natural hair in one hand and marley in the other. Then wrap the marley hair around what you have in your left hand. Decide which direction you're going to wrap and wrap, 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 wrap. Here you can see it instantly puffing up, so I must have done something wrong. Then the end of the boho that you had been wrapping, leave it out and clip it up. I think I added in another boho strand or something like that down here, but of course I go out of frame and I have no idea. And finish the lock off the same as the last time and you're done. Add a little shea butter and finger curl. I was feeling it, but y'all, I was so tired at this point.
Hey y'all, I'm back. I just wanted to let you know with this little segue, a couple of other takeaways that I wanted to offer. First is to make sure that you get more than enough hair. You can always dye the hair, use it later, use it for a different install, but you can't go back and have more hair to begin with, if that makes sense. Like, I had to keep waiting over the period of days. I'd order hair, use it up, have to order more. And so if you just order more than enough to start with, then you won't have to go through that whole process and you get your hair done quicker. I originally wanted to do the method where I would hide my natural hair inside of the lock by just pulling it through with the crochet hook, but these locks were way too thin for that. So if you want to do that kind of a method, make sure that you get locks that are thicker and not so thin. And that concludes my install and everything I wanted to show you with that. So stick around to see the final look.
Adjust tripod and more adjustments. They pose and they be looking cute. They put on the wings. Ooh, okay. This look gave me life. Looks at camera. Wings swaying in the wind. Oh, so aesthetic. Okay. The final look though. Dreams realized. Oh my gosh. More poses. The details, the makeup, and the before work and PC skin. You know, just rocking it.
Okay, y'all, this is the last time that I'll pop in. I just wanted to film a little outro, make this video all polished and, you know, professional. My last takeaway was that I thought my retention was going to be super poor just with how tiny the little individual braids were and how much weight was on them with the lock. But as you can see, my edges are intact. Maybe a little bit of thinning, but definitely not the kind of damage that I was expecting just after this whole process. And I just made sure that my natural hair was just super moisturized. And so when I took down all the locks, my hair was still super smoky and like moisturized. So just make sure to just go overboard on the shea butter. And that's my last tip. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to like and comment and all that jazz, literally. Bye.